The mic is on.
Yeah, you're live now. You're live now.
Yeah. Good morning, world. Good morning, Kwara. Good morning, Ilorin. And happy World Radio Day. Today is the 13th of February 2025, and it's World Radio Day all over the world. And you are listening to Emirates Radio. So, you are listening to today's newspaper review on Emirates Radio, and I am Latifah Ibrahim-Arowona. Come with us on this beautiful morning on World Radio Day, this morning's newspaper review. And on this morning's newspaper review, we have the Leadership newspaper, the Punch newspaper, Daily Post, and the Vanguard newspaper. And firstly, on today's Leadership newspaper, we have Ude Ukoye allow opposition breathes, Umodo Secondos caution APC. Two former national chairman of People's Democratic Party PDP, Dr. Okwesileze Nwodo and Prince Uche Secondo, sold the ruling All Progressive Congress APC-led federal government to allow the opposition breathe, adding that a strong opposition is the right measure for vibrant democracy all over the world. They stated this while congratulating the National Secretary of PDP, Chief Sunday Ude Okoye, and the members of the National Working Committee for standing firm and in defense of the rule of law and party discipline. The two former chairmen, in a joint statement signed by media advisor Ike Abonyi, said Ude Okoye's recognition by the party's leadership has demonstrated its total commitment to the rule of law and rightly portrayed the party as a truly democratic institution. Still on the Leadership newspaper, we've not spent money on proposed Malete Ranch, Kwara government clarifies. The Kwara state government said it did not spend a kobo on any ranch projects between 2022 and 2023. The state government made the clarification on its response to an online medium, Sahara Reporters report, that it has extended 800 million naira on the Malete Ranch. In a statement signed by the Commissioner of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mrs. Olorun Toyosi Thomas, the government added the only related expenditure in the said years was 29 million naira spent in 2022 for essential services, topographic survey, environmental impact assessments, and drone flights across the Malete site. At the Malete new site for the Kwara Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone project, this expenditure is dated 28 February 2022. Anti-party activities. Crisis brews in PDP over disciplinary committee. The friction within the former ruling People's Democratic Party worsened yesterday as former Benue State Governor Samuel Otom threatened to sue the party's National Disciplinary Committee for subjecting him to public ridicule. The former governor accused the Chief Tom Ikeme-led committee of accusing him reputational harms after it summoned him to clarify anti-party allegations leveled against him by the petitioners. Autumn therefore demanded a written apology from Tom Ikeme-led committee in a widely publicized statement within 48 hours. Still on the Leadership newspaper this morning, urgent action needed to end open defecation by 2030, says Minister. The Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation, Engineer Professor Joseph Usef, has urged state government to take decisive measures against open defecation by developing clear, time-bound actions plan that align with the revised Clean Nigeria campaign implementation strategy of 2025 to 2030. Speaking at the national retreat for states and the Clean Nigeria Use the Toilets campaign in Abuja on Wednesday, the minister stressed the critical need for enhanced political committee and dedicated implementation team in every state. The Clean Nigerian campaign is a call to action, urging collaborations, innovation, and sustainable efforts from all levels of government and private sectors actors. While we have made progress within 142 local government areas declared open defecation free, much work remains, he stated. And on the Punch newspaper this morning, Tinubu's tax reform bills poorly drafted, says Rep. A member representing Jibia Kaita Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Sada Soli, has stated that President Bola Tinubu's tax reform bills did not follow due drafting process. Soli stated this during an interview on Channel Television's Politics Today on Wednesday. The lawmaker urged that Tinubu was poorly advised on the tax reform bills, adding that the bills were not drafted by professionals, hence, they were poorly done. He said, "Let us be fair to Mr. President. For a president to take a decision, it has to rely on certain advice. I think the president was poorly advised. People that drafted these bills in the first place, the draft was poorly done because they were referring to the bills as acts. When I read these bills, I know that they were poorly drafted and were not subjected to professional drafters." Still on the Punch newspaper, Tinubu's re-election, ACF orders tackle Ganduje over no vacancy comments. Pro-North Social-Political Organization, REVEIW Consultative Forum, and some prominent voices from the northern region of the country have said the region cannot be forced to re-elect President Bola Tinubu in 2027. The ACF and other northern leaders declared that no individuals could claim to be the mouthpiece of the North, and as such, it was wrong for the chairman of All Progressive Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, to ask the North to wait till 2031 before vying for the presidency. They spoke against the backdrop of Ganduje's warning to northern politicians nursing presidential ambition in the 2027 to bury their idea, vowing that Tinubu will complete 2 terms in office. Ganduje made the assertion on Tuesday when he received a delegation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Medical Center and Abuja Northern Youth Forum at the party's national secretariat in Abuja. And on the Daily Post newspaper this morning, merchant flees as NAFDAC seals expired drugs warehouse in Abia. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has sealed a warehouse filled with expired foreign drugs and various supplements in Umumeje, Osisioma local government area of Abia State. This even as the main suspects in the fake drug business has fled to an unknown destination to escape arrest. NAFDAC Southeast Zonal Coordinator Martins Iluyomade made the disclosure on Tuesday after leading the operation that uncovered the illegal drug warehouse. Iluyomade said the warehouse was packed to capacity with expired foreign pharmaceuticals products. noting that the owner of the warehouse either purchased expired medicines for packaging or receiving them from importers before reselling the unwholesome drugs to innocent members of the public. The NAFDAC zonal coordinator said the special machine used by the suspects to repackage and rebrand the expired products was discovered in the building, disclosing that the rooms were filled to brim with fake and expired foreign drugs. He said the operation, which was coordinated with men of Nigerian Army, DSS, police, and other sister agencies, led to the arrest of some suspects, while effort is on by his office to apprehend the main suspects who had gone into hiding. Still on Daily Post newspaper this morning, Kwara. New controller urges government to relocate Okekura Custodial Center in Ilorin. Famwagun Oyediran, the new controller of the Nigerian Correctional Service (NCS) in Kwara State, has raised concerns about current location of the Okekura Custodial Center in Ilorin, the state capital. Speaking during a visit to the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Mamman Sabo Jibril, in Ilorin on Wednesday, Famwagun said the facility is overpopulated, creating a precarious situation that threatens the health of the inmates. He appealed to the state government to relocate the custodial facility to a larger site that could better accommodate its needs. The new controller, however, acknowledged the support of the state government, particularly the drilling of boreholes at the Okekura Custodial Center, which has significantly eased the burden of water provision. In response, Professor Mahmoud pledged the government's continuous support for the State Command of the Nigerian Correctional Services. The Secretary to the State Government commended the mutual working relation between the government and the State Command of the Correctional Service, assuring that the government will not waver in its support and assistance to facilitate operations in the state. Still on Daily Post newspaper this morning, 14 million Nigerians addicted to drug abuse, says NDLEA. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency said no fewer than 40 million Nigerians are estimated to be involved in and addicted to the consumption of harmful drugs. Deputy Commander of the Ondo State Command of NDLEA, Mrs. Yetunde Joyfos, made the disclosure at the Drug Abuse Awareness Program organized by OAJ Youth for Secondary School in Ile Oluji, Okeibo local government area of the state on Wednesday. Joyfos said the drugs consumed were mostly chemical substances capable of negatively altering the minds of users. According to her, the only way to curb the menace is to engage all stakeholders in the community and encourage them to partner with the authorities in the fight against the dangerous trade. I want to thank the Oejefon Youth Council for partnering with the NDLEA in the fight against drug abuse in the society, she noted. She described young people, especially those at the secondary school level, as the most vulnerable victims of drug abuse, adding that efforts must be intensified to rescue them from involvement. Still on Daily Post newspaper this morning, follow due process before presenting candidates for Mogaji. Bale Olubadan warns families. The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Akinloye Owolabi Olakulayin, has appealed to all families in the ancient city to follow due process before presenting candidates for the position of Mogaji and Bale. Olakulayin gave the advice in a statement made available to newsmen on Tuesday. The statement was signed by Chief Press Secretary to the Olubadan, Chief Solomon Olugbemiga Ayoade. Newsmen gathered that the Olubadan had on Monday declined to install Mogaji of Ali Imo in Ibadan Northeast local government area of Oyo State, where immediate past Olubadan hailed from. He also did not install Mogaji Kojela Isaleosi compound, Ibadan Southwest local government, Bale Akinshola village in Akinyele local government Bale Agbon village and Bale Sukuru, both from Legelu local government area of Oyo State. The Olubana noted that installation of the Magaji and Bale was not approved due to the rancor that emanated from the affected families. The two Magajis and the three Bales were disqualified because their families were divided and did not present consensus candidates, an act which is diametrically opposed to the concepts, ideals, and values of family headship. Still on Daily Post newspaper this morning, Nigerian government. Drivers differ on petrol trucks ban as tanker explosion claims 493 lives. The Nigerian government and the National Association of Road Transport Owners are not on the same page over the proposal to ban petroleum truck with 60,000 litre capacity from operating on federal highways. On Wednesday, in a stakeholders meeting in Abuja, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority proposed a ban on truck with 60,000 litre capacity to prevent incessant tanker explosion incidents, which had claimed 493 lives in the last 3 years. Consequently, the Nigerian government wants tankers restricted to a maximum of 45,000 litres as part of a recommendation aimed at reducing fatalities from petroleum tankers accidents to zero. The Chief Executive Officer of NMDPRA, Farouk Ahmed, announced this proposal at the stakeholders meeting on Wednesday. According to Ahmed, the carnage from the petroleum truck explosion has been on the increase from 7 recorded in the 2022 to 24 deaths in 2023. While 341 died in 2024, the incident has already hit 121 in 2025, which is also 2 months from its beginning. This year to date, we have already recorded 5 road tanker accidents, leading to 121 fatalities and 79 injuries. These incidents are unnecessary and unacceptable. They must be prevented and brought down to zero. Still on Daily Post newspaper this morning, Northern leaders reject Ganduje's call for Tinubu's re-election. Still on Daily Post newspaper this morning, Kano APC chieftain regrets supporting Tinubu, says Nigerians are hungry. An All Progressive Congress APC chieftain, Alhaji Abdulmajid Dambilki Commander, has expressed regrets over his decision to campaign for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2023 general election. Speaking in a telephone interview with the Daily Trust, Commander said President Tinubu's performance has fallen short of expectations, disappointing many Nigerians who voted for him. In my entire life, I have never regretted an action as much as I regret campaigning for President Tinubu, he stated. It pains me, but the truth must be told. I remain an active APC member, but I must admit that this administration has failed Nigerians. Having dedicated my time and resources to convincing people to vote for the party, I deeply regret my actions. Commander further emphasized that, as someone who represents the interests of the people, he feels compelled to seek their forgiveness, acknowledging that the promise he made on behalf of the APC-led government had not been fulfilled. Nigerians are suffering. Their expectations from this government have not been met, he said. People are hungry and frustrated. Security is not assured. Governance is lopsided, and many can no longer afford 2 square meals a day. Still on Daily Post newspaper this morning, alleged rape of 17-year-old girl, court remands police officer in Kirikiri prison. A Lagos magistrate court has remanded a police officer who allegedly defiled a 17-year-old girl in Ogudu Area Police Command in Kirikiri prison, pending determination of the case adjourned to March 1st, 2025. The Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency made this known in a statement on Tuesday. This care comes after the now-retired police officer was arraigned on Tuesday. The Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, in its continuous fight against domestic sexual violence, has updated the general public that a police officer, now retired, who allegedly defiled a 17-year-old survivor as Ogudu Area Command, was arraigned before Magistrate Fagbonhu Court 11 on Tuesday, February 11, 2025. And lastly, on the Daily Post newspaper this morning, Federal Poly Bauchi student killed in hit-and-run accident. A diploma journalism student of the Department of Mass Communication, Federal Polytechnic Bauchi, Faith Aluku Adeshola, lost her life on Wednesday after being struck by a hit-and-run truck driver. According to eyewitnesses, Faith was on her way to school on a motorcycle when the truck collided with them, leading to her death on the spot. Both the truck driver and the motorcycle driver have been arrested and are currently in police custody. Her body has been deposited at the morgue of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital. It was further gathered that Faith was still in the process of completing her registration at the time of her tragic death. And on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, telecom tariff hike. NLC films give March 1st alert to shut telecom services. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has expressed outrage over the hike in tariffs by the telecommunication companies, despite an earlier agreement reached with the federal government and the Nigerian Communication Commission, and demanded immediate reversal of the increase to avoid unpleasant consequences. However, the operators are not taking any of NLC's threats, warning that Labour's action will mount to a treasonable felony. Recall that the federal government and NLC had about 2 weeks ago emerged from a meeting convened by a farmer to see how the price hike will reduce from the proposed 50%. A 10-man committee comprising 5 members from each of 2 parties was constituted and given 2 weeks to further deliberate on the issues before a decision was taken. A 2-week deadline given to the committee ends this week, but some of the telecommunications companies have already effected a hike of 50% hike in data. According to NLC, if the telecommunications company fails to revert to the old tariff by the end of February 2025, a total shutdown of their operations nationwide will commence from March 1st, 2025. To show its seriousness, the labor movement declared that as a first step in restinting the arbitrary tariff hike, it directed that from Thursday, February 13, 2025, workers and other willing citizens should boycott the service of MTN, Airtel, and Glo daily between 11 o'clock a.m. and 2 o'clock p.m. with effect from Thursday, February 11 till end of February 2025. Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Reps pass Tinubu's tax reform bill for second reading. The House of Representatives has passed for second reading 4 consolidated tax reform bills submitted by President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday, with no opposition from members. The bills include the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, the Nigerian Tax Bill, the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, and the Joint Revenue Bill Establishment Bill. Recall that the bills were first read on October 8, 2024, but the debate was delayed due to disagreement on the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, primarily from northern leaders and the Nigerian Governors Forum. Despite this, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin encouraged members to consult widely with their constituents before debating the bills. Before Wednesday's debate, the House consolidated the 4 bills into one. House Leader Rep. Julius Ibovere led the debates, commending President Tinubu for his courage in introducing reforms aimed at addressing multiple taxation enhancing revenue collection and diversifying the economy. Ibovere also appreciated those who opposed parts of the bills, noting that their concerns helped strengthen the proposed reforms. The spirit behind the bills is to overhaul the tax system in the country, he said. And that brings us to the end of newspaper review today on Emirates Radio. You can continue to listen to us live on all of our social media handle on Emirates Radio, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter from X. You can listen to us live on our YouTube page or download our app on Google App Store. Happy World Radio Day once again. Stay glued to Emirates Radio, the voice of the people. I remain my humble self, Latifah Ibrahim-Arowona. Have a good day.